What's up, Eagles fans? Welcome into the All-22 review driven by AAA. I'm your host, Fran Duffy. Eagles win 37-27. Crazy tight game down at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland, between the Eagles and Washington. The Eagles come up with the huge victory. We've got a lot to cover. Miles Sanders had himself a day down in D.C. Just a huge win for this Eagles team. And we're going to start things off with some of the biggest plays that we saw, namely on offense. You can see it's 3rd and long, and the Eagles dial something up to attack the middle of the field. Basically what they're trying to do is they're going to have Carson Wentz throw a little pump fake on a 2-man route concept on this side. Then you're hoping that you can hit Greg Ward on a nice little skinny post over the deep middle. But what we're going to see from Washington here is they're sending what's called a cover zero blitz. So Carson Wentz pre-snap, he's got an idea that this is going to be cover zero because look in the middle of the field. There are no safeties over there. So this looks like it's going to be pressure. You've got a lot of defenders up near the line of scrimmage. So this deep ball may not really be able to be executed because you've got just a little bit of time here to get this ball off. So Carson Wentz is going to take the snap. We can let this run. And you're going to see he's going to drop back, still throw that pump fake. But when we look on the back end, we can see Washington actually busts this coverage because in cover zero, that means all of your defenders are playing man-to-man, 1 versus 1 on the back end. And if you just look at the numbers here at the top of the screen, you've got 2 Eagles receivers with 3 Washington defenders. And you can look at the bottom, you've got 3 receivers with 2 defenders. So Carson Wentz knows, all right, we've got the numbers on the right side. The ball's going to go there. I may not have time to wait for this deep post route to open up. I think that that's where they really would have liked to go with the ball in an ideal world, but Carson Wentz knows he's got to get the ball out quickly. Who's that go to? It's going to go to Zach Ertz here on a little stick route. We'll let this run. You're going to see Carson Wentz understands he's about to take a hit, gets the ball out quickly. Zach Ertz makes this play, is able to make one man miss, and he's able to get the Eagles into the high red zone. So really good execution there from Carson Wentz, understanding what the defense gave them. Busted coverage on the back end from Washington certainly helps, but big play to set up the Eagles for a field goal in their opening drive. All right, let's fast forward now to the Eagles' next drive, and they're down by a score of 7-3. They just allowed a big catch and run for Terry McLaurin. So Miles Sanders has a couple of big runs on this drive to get the Eagles into the low red zone, and that's where we go here. It's 2nd and goal down in the goal line. I want you to just see how the Eagles line up here because there's multiple tight ends on the field. You've got Dallas Goedert, you've got Zach Ertz, and Josh Perkins. The number one thing I want you to watch for is that Carson Wentz is under center. And what do we know that the Eagles love to run when they're in short yardage situations with the quarterback under center? Quarterback sneak, right? And so you're going to see Washington, they're loading this box. They are trying to do everything they can to make sure Carson Wentz is not going to run this in on us here and get into the end zone. In the meantime, that means they bust this coverage because what you've got here again on the top of the screen is you've got 2 defenders for Washington against 3 potential Eagles receivers. All Carson Wentz is going to do is take the snap and toss this play out to the right side. You're going to see Miles Sanders, we can let this run, is just going to take this little toss play. It's a quick little sweep, and now he's got a caveat of blockers out in front, and he's able to jump into the end zone to put the Eagles ahead. And this all started with a lot of big runs on this drive from Miles Sanders. Rookie had a really nice day here in the first half. All right, let's go 3rd quarter now, and this touchdown catch by Miles Sanders on one of the best pure throws that we could have seen here in the 2019 football season from Carson Wentz. So let's take a look at 2nd and long. Let's see what Carson sees here. It's a 2-by-2 set where you've got 2 receivers here, you've got 2 receivers to the top of the screen. What the Eagles are running here is just a little 2-man route concept with Greg Ward and Dallas Goedert, where it looks like Carson is hoping to hit Dallas Goedert on this skinny post to finish this drive. But for some reason, he doesn't throw it. I think he doesn't like what happens here with this defender. He doesn't throw it. So now he's going to work back to the backside. So he gets a little bit later in the progression where the Eagles have a 3-man route concept on what I call a snap, where you're going to have this little curl route right here. You've got a post route from Zach Ertz and a flat route from Miles Sanders. So that's the 3-man route concept that he sees to the right side. So we're going to take the snap here. We'll see what Carson sees. Again, he's going to start to his left. Doesn't like what he sees, so he doesn't pull the trigger. So now Miles Sanders, he's running to the flat. You're going to watch him here. He's going to turn and look back at Carson Wentz. And as soon as he sees that Carson breaks the pocket and is now in scramble mode, he follows his rules in the scramble drill. Again, this is something that gets practiced and worked through in practice time and time again, is the rules in scramble situations. This is not random. This is all by design. So Miles Sanders knows that in this situation, I have to work upfield towards the sideline. Now that I'm as far as I can go east-west, I now have to work north-south. So we're going to watch here. Miles Sanders is going to work upfield. He's doing his job in scramble situations. And again, now that Carson has gotten to this point, you're going to see, look in the back here. You see Miles Sanders got his arms up. He's like, hey, big fella, I'm back here. Look at me in the back of the end zone. He does a good job of losing this linebacker in man-to-man coverage, where he does a good job faking as if he's going to go across the field, then just kind of setting up shop here in the back corner. We can let this run, and we'll see the absolute dart that Carson Wentz throws through that tight window along the sideline, puts it right through the numbers of Miles Sanders. Eagles get on the board and take the lead once again, 17-13. All right, so a little bit later in the game, this is a critical play. It's 3rd and long. Eagles look like they're going to have to go 3 and out here, backed up in their own end of the field, but Doug Peterson makes a great play call. They understand, hey, you know what? It's 3rd and long. We never run the ball in these kind of situations. Doug Peterson has always been very aggressive throwing the football on 3rd and long. The other team, they're not going to expect that we're going to call a little bit of a draw play here. You can see there is not a lot of defenders here at the second level. The secondary is backed up off the ball. You've got some blitzers here up along the line of scrimmage, but if you can just suck that rush up the field as if it's going to be a pass play, you should be able to get the running back out behind them. And now, if you're Miles Sanders, you're looking and you're kind of scanning the defense, and you see, you know what? There are a lot of bodies over here. A lot of defenders that could potentially tackle me if I decide I'm going to go out the right side. So I'm just going to look over to the left side. You've got 2 defenders against really 3 Eagles blockers up here from the offensive line. And so we're going to take the snap. Let's see exactly how Miles Sanders views this. Again, you're going to fake the pass play as if Carson Wentz is going to throw this football, but it's a pass set along the offensive line. And now look at what Miles Sanders sees. Not only is there only 2 defenders over on this side, but the defensive end, Montez Sweat, loops inside of Jason Peters. So there is no force player here on the outside on this play. So Miles Sanders, he's going to take this and bounce, and there is nothing but green grass, and we'll let this run. That's one of the beauties of this kind of play call. When you have a running back who has had some issues early in the season, navigating through traffic, finding tight creases, look at all of the green grass Miles Sanders has to work with here. He is a space player, and he makes a big play in space, 56 yards, and he takes the Eagles into the red zone off 3rd and 11, backed up in their own end. Huge play here to set up another Eagles score. All right, well, let's now go to a couple plays later and see how the Eagles were able to punch it into the end zone after that long run by Miles Sanders. And this is going to be a play-action play. It's 3rd and goal from the 2.5-yard line. And here's the route concept. You're going to get Zach Ertz running to the flag on a little bit of a flat route. You're going to then get J.J. Arcega-Whiteside running on a corner route. So a little bit of a 2-man high-low route concept. You also have your next progression, who is basically Dallas Goedert running on a backside crosser. So if you don't like what's happening here, you've got your backside crosser, and then one more route I want you to keep an eye on and keep this kind of stored away for later. You've got Greg Ward lined up as the number 1 receiver. He is going to work backside and go over here. Again, just file that away for a few minutes from now. But we're going to let Carson Wentz take the snap. And again, this is going to be off play action. So he's going to fake the run to Sanders in the backfield, and he's looking to the right side. No one works with Zach Ertz. So a little bit of a busted coverage here from the Washington Redskins. We'll let this run. You're going to see Carson Wentz get rid of the football. Zach Ertz wide open, 3rd and goal. Eagles get another touchdown, take the lead. They go up 24-21 in the 3rd quarter. All right, so now we go late 4th quarter. And remember, I told you to file away what I just told you about that route concept. We're going to take a look. Same play, and we're going to say same part of the field. This time it's 1st and goal. Eagles inside the 5-yard line. They're able to move the ball downfield. Dallas Goedert had a huge catch for 20 yards. Carson Wentz moving the football meticulously down the field. Here we are, low red zone. Same route concept, right? We're going to have Zach Ertz running to the flat with J.J. Arcega-Whiteside running the corner. So there's your little high-low concept here, where onto the right side that Carson Wentz is going to work off first. Next, you've got Dallas Goedert running that crosser from the backside. If he doesn't like what he sees in the high-low, he's got Dallas Goedert. The last route that I want you to watch is Greg Ward, a little bit of a throwback play on the backside. So we're going to now take the snap. You're going to get the same play-action fake to Miles Sanders. Carson Wentz looks to his right, doesn't like what he sees, understands, you know what? I've got Greg Ward running into a lot of green grass over there, and I'm sure he looked on the sideline, on the tablet, after that touchdown to Ertz and said, you know what? They didn't cover Greg Ward all that well. I'm going to make sure I get this ball over to him early. They ran a similar play a couple of weeks ago to Nelson Aguilar on a 2-point conversion play against the Dolphins, and that converted. Same play here. Let's let it run. Eagles get a game-winning touchdown. Carson Wentz to Greg Ward, who does a great job tracking this ball, high-pointing it, coming down in the back of the end zone. Game-winning touchdown. Eagles win and keep their playoff chances alive much, much higher, making the stakes here for this Sunday's matchup against the Dallas Cowboys all that much greater. It's going to be a huge game. We've got a lot coming this week on PhiladelphiaEagles.com to preview this game. We've got Eagles game plan. We're going to have coaches in studio. We're going to have Ike Reese, Greg Cosell, Mike Quick, John Clark, everybody breaking down everything you can expect from Eagles Cowboys. And of course, you can catch Greg Cosell and myself on the Eagle Eye in the Sky podcast, fueled by Gatorade. We'll be breaking down everything we saw from this game and preview next weekend's matchup against the Cowboys to help decide who is going to represent the NFC East in the 2019 NFL playoffs. With all that being said, thank you for joining us once again here on the All-22 review driven by AAA. We'll see you next week.